couples who got their start in scandal, then got serious. They say love often finds you when you're least expecting it, and that's true, in a way, for these couples. Stars such as LeAnn and Cibrian, Paul Newman, and Joanne Woodward, as well as Kelsey and Kayte Walsh, all found their forever person while one or both parties were married. And while they didn't have the most conventional beginnings, some pairings have resulted in some of the longer-lasting marriages in Hollywood. More recently, T.J., Holmes, and Amy Robach announced their engagement 3 years after their affair became public. Below, see the celebrity couples whose relationships started as controversial extramarital affairs. Newly engaged couple Amy Robach and T.J. Holmes are getting ready to be co-anchors for life. The pair, who worked together at the anchor desk of GMA3, What You Need to Know, began dating in private, but in November 2022, photos surfaced of them holding hands in a car during a vacation in upstate New York and cozying up at a bar. Both parties were married at the time, though they would later say they had waited to separate from their spouses before dating, which made the news scandalous. The two moved on from their jobs at ABC News and moved in together. On October 14th, they announced their engagement on an episode of their Amy and TJ podcast. We are sharing with all of you that we are engaged, and we've been engaged for just about a month now, Robach told listeners. Holmes added, "We wanted to let you all know before anybody else was able to. We've learned that lesson, I guess, in the past about our relationship." Kelsey and Kayte Walsh have been married for 14 years now, but they had a bit of a rough start. The two first crossed paths in 2009 when she was working as a flight attendant on his flight to London and went for coffee a few days later. However, was still married to his wife of 13 years, Camille. "I'm not proud of the way we started out because he was in a marriage. I'm sorry. I have so many emotions," Walsh said during a sit-down interview with Oprah in 2012. "But I fell in love. I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to put it into words." Camille filed for divorce in 2010, and he married Walsh in February 2011. The pair welcomed 3 children together, with another on the way. Grammer has 4 older children from previous relationships. LeAnn and Cibrian fell for each other while working on Northern Lights back in 2008. Though they initially denied rumors of an affair, he was married to Brandi Glanville, and she was married to Dean Shearmott. They eventually stepped out as a couple following their respective divorces in 2009. "I did one of the most selfish things that I possibly could do in hurting someone else," Rhimes told People. "I take responsibility for everything I've done. I hate that people got hurt, but I don't regret the outcome." The two were engaged in 2010 and wed on April 22, 2011. Though they haven't welcomed any kids together, Cibrian shares 2 kids with his ex, Brad Pitt. Pitt was already in a highly publicized Jennifer Aniston, so when rumors surfaced that he and fellow A-lister Angelina Jolie had sparked a romance while on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith back in 2003, what ensued was nothing short of a circus. The pair weathered the media frenzy. However, Pitt separated from Aniston in 2005 and would be together with Jolie for about 9 years, raising 6 children together, before they wed in 2014. 2 years later after that, Jolie filed for divorce from the Troy actor, and they would embark on a contentious legal battle that went on for 8 years. The divorce was finalized in December 2024. During Season 2 of her reality TV series, True Tori, Tori Spelling admitted to sleeping with Dean McDermott the first night the pair met while working on the 2005 Lifetime film, Mind Over Murder. At the time, both actors were married, McDermott to Mary Jo Eustace and Spelling to Charlie Shawnian. By May the following year, they had officially divorced their spouses and got married in a private ceremony in Fiji, embarking on an often tumultuous journey that would last 17 years. The couple welcomed 5 kids together. McDermott is also father to son Jack, whom he welcomed with Eustace, before Spelling filed for divorce in 2024. Elizabeth Taylor and Eddie Fisher wove quite a tangled web with their affair. Taylor had just lost her 3rd husband, Mike Todd, in a plane crash in 1958 and found comfort with Eddie Fisher, who was also a friend of her late husband. The pair would start an affair, which resulted in Fisher's divorce from Debbie Reynolds, who was also a close friend of Taylor's. Fisher and Taylor got married in 1959, mere hours after Fisher's divorce was finalized. The two were married for 5 years before the actress started another affair with her Cleopatra co-star, Richard Burton, while he was married to Sybil Williams. They would get married twice, before going their separate ways in 1976. Arthur Miller and his second wife, Marilyn Monroe, first met in the early 1950s. By 1955, the pair were involved in a full-fledged affair as he was married to Mary Slattery and she was married to baseball player Joe DiMaggio. According to the BBC, the couple wed on June 29, 1956, in a 4-minute civil ceremony that took place in New York following their respective divorces. The union would turn out to be tempestuous, and the two were divorced in 1961 after 5 years together. Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart met on the set of To Have and To Have Not back in 1944. Not only was Bogart 45 and Bacall 19 when their chemistry began to raise eyebrows, but the actor was married to Mayo Method when their affair began. The affair would eventually lead to the dissolution of Bogart's marriage, and he and Bacall wed on May 21st, 1945, 11 days after his divorce. The couple remained together until his death 12 years later. Though Charles and Camilla met each other first, the pair married other people, which would lead to one of the most scandalous affairs of the 90s. Charles famously married Princess Diana in a lavish ceremony in 1981. 8 years before then, Camilla had married Andrew Parker Bowles. The pair's affair began even before Charles wed Princess Diana in 1981 and started again in earnest in 1986, which consequently led to both their divorces. Prince Charles and Camilla got married on April 9, 2005, and have been together since. Melanie Griffith and Antonio Banderas tried to fight their feelings for each other after sparks flew on the set of 1995's Too Much, to no avail. She was married to Don Johnson and he to Ana Leza, but still, they fell for each other. It was very, very fast and very compulsive, but at the same time, we were tied at the time, Banderas told ABC News. We tried as much as we could to be respectful. We just thought this may be one of those, infatuation moments that we have when we shoot movies because we got to play together a couple, so let's just go home. By 1996, the two had left their spouses and tied the knot in a quiet London ceremony, which took place a month after their divorces. They were married for 18 years before. Griffith filed for divorce in 2014. One of Hollywood's most revered couples, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, were married for a remarkable 50 years, until he died in 2008. The long-term union didn't have the smoothest start, however. The couple first met in 1953, but their romance didn't blossom until they worked together on The Long, Hot Summer in 1958. Newman would divorce his wife, Jackie Witt, with whom he shared 3 kids, and marry Woodward in 1958. Another beloved Hollywood couple, Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash, first met in 1956 when they were both married to other people. Johnny was with Vivian Liberto, and June was married to Rip Nix. Suspecting their affair, Liberto filed for divorce in 1966. They wed in 1968 and would be together until she died in May 2003. He died 4 months later.